Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry. Trying to see. Maybe. Oh, girl, y'all, I'm so sorry. You hear me? You hear me? Oh, praise the Lord, y'all. Okay, let's recap. So sorry. Oh my goodness. I tried so hard to have everything ready to go, and technology can sometimes just throw you a curveball. So I am so incredibly sorry, y'all. So let me back up. So Lisa Ahmad with Craft Therapy with Lisa Ahmad created this block for me um, last month, and you guys, it's phenomenal. Which I've shown you, but I want you to hear this card. It is so sweet. She says, I had such a good time creating this piece for you. The rice papers and central motif were all created with you in mind. The music is for your singing and love of piano. The basket is for Easter. The flowers are for your love of gardens, and the hummingbirds, which are my absolute favorite. And she says, which is my favorite. The snail is something I included in my art as a reminder to take things slow. Oh, and enjoy the small things in life. That is absolutely beautiful. And the lace is from a tablecloth my grandma made years ago. She was my special person, and she would craft and sew and crochet with me as a young child. That is precious. And Lisa, I am so honored to have that in this block. I hope you will enjoy this piece and think of me and smile when you see it. I absolutely will. And you guys, it is just stunning. I just cannot. It's spot on. And Lisa, you did an absolutely amazing job. It is gorgeous. In fact, I'm going to somehow put some of these things on the back, and so I can keep the the um, the uniqueness and the treasure that this is, and your thought in behind this. I absolutely love it, girl. Absolutely gorgeous. So, since we've lost some time with this, she is, isn't she, Lindy? I love it. I don't like. I don't just like it. I love it. I can't. So, you guys, I'm going to preface. You didn't hear me say before. I am a little under the weather. I'm liable to cough, and I'm so sorry. I think I'm headed into some bronchitis and just haven't felt the best today. But y'all pray for me and give me some grace, and it's going to be fine. So, I am going to create a square, a quilt block for Lisa with Crafting and Cruising. And so, I have had this design in mind for quite a while because one of the things she loves is cruising, of course. It's in her business name. So I went to Canva and I found some free graphics. Uh, I found a sailboat, and look at this sunrise. We're going to try to emulate that in a quilt block. And so I'm going to show you. We're going to do a little bit of freehand applique with this piece. All right, so I have my white square, and I actually went ahead and created the back. And we are going to use a low loft batting. And what I've done is taken my pattern and I've pulled together some pieces of fabric to create this sailboat. And I've just gone to my stash and just kind of created a little pattern. I've got the sails ready to go. And so let me say that when I paint from the background forward. And so that's how I'm going to create this as well. We're going to begin with some sky, and we're just going to kind of build this as we go. We're going to have to move to the sewing machine, and we'll have to cut out just a few pieces as we go, just because this is very much freehand. What I do want to do first, let me kind of put my sandwich together first. And so I will have to trim this down a little. Let me get my top. Okay. And then I'm going to try to make sure I've got this kind of squared up. I'm going to kind of pin this. Y'all, if I sniff, I'm so sorry. Please give me some grace here. Whew. All right. I am planning to make a couple of quilts this year, one for my son and daughter-in-law and one for my grandson. And I want to do the quilt as you go method. I've never tried that, but I do want to try it because it's hard to quilt when you have all that bulk on your sewing machine. I do it, but it's a challenge. It's a workout. People don't realize what a physical workout quilting can be. Okay. I'm just kind of pinning this, and we're going to be sure to leave about a 1/2 inch all the way around. So we'll just be sure not to sew. Get this last one in. I'm just kind of stabilizing everything. So I have this blue fabric that we're going to use as our sky. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn down about a 1/2 inch, and we're going to sew this down. I'm going to pull you guys over to my sewing machine that I've got right here. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I am not a perfect seamstress, especially when it comes to doing things so free-handed. But I couldn't get this image out of my mind. And then this is going to kind of take care of that raw edge in the fabric also. Now, I know you may be having a hard time seeing, and right now we are just pinning the sky fabric on here. Let me get this a little more square. Hang on. I'm going to kind of tuck. So we're going to create a work of art using fabric. That's the general idea. So right now I'm just turning down my raw edges. And I want to kind of be sure I leave about a 1/2 inch exposed on this white block. There we go. And we're going to stitch this down, and we're going to stitch in some designs, and we're going to add some clouds, and we're going to try to make that pretty sunset design here on this. Thank you for praying for me. Oh, thank you, Anita. So this square is going to be for Lisa Sailor with Craftin' and Cruisin'. Okay, I'm going to turn y'all over to my machine. Just like that. I'm going to walk around here. Hang with me. Hopefully everybody can see okay. Okay. I do want to I'm going to turn this a little. Hopefully it will work with me. There we go. Get you a little closer. So these are my pieces for the sailboat and the sun. Now, get some of my little tools out of the way here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we are going to stitch down this blue fabric, and I'm using an O presser foot so that I can have that free motion. Okay, get my needle in. There we go. I just had my machine serviced, and this is the first time I've sewn on it since I got it serviced. Actually, I'm going to come over a little more. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And get my thread. Now, one thing I'm going to use on the top of this, a little tip and trick, is if you use light gray thread, it kind of blends in. I'm trying to get that underneath. There we go. And so we're going to kind of just freehand this. And so we're stitching down that raw edge. Now this is meant to be freehand and not perfect because of the designs we're going to put into this. I'm going to turn it. So I do have a really nice sewing machine. Y'all, I did invest in a nice sewing machine. Let's see, my granddaughter is 7. When the grandchildren started coming, I did invest in a good sewing machine. And you know, my mother, she did the same thing. When my sister and I started having children, that was when she invested in a nice sewing machine. This is a Baby Lock Destiny 2. I have absolutely loved it. It does embroidery and quilting. It has a deep throat on it for those quilting projects. And if you keep them serviced, they will last forever. Forever. You guys, I will go back and respond to the comments. We are also streaming in YouTube this evening, and so I will go back and respond to the comments there as well. So if I don't respond to you right away, sorry, I'm concentrating. We're talking about the sewing machine. I actually have 2 sewing machines, and they're both Baby Locks. I prefer that brand, but to each their own. Everybody has their own preference. So we're putting in the sky, and we're just think of this as like painting with fabric. So I'm starting with the background. Whoops. And we're going to come forward in our design. The nice thing about doing this kind of project is you don't have to be perfect. Okay. All right, next, what I want to do is I'm going to create some rays, because we're going to be having our sun. I'm going to kind of start. Can everybody see okay? I need to adjust something. I want you to have the best viewing possible, and I keep messing with it. And I'll show you here in a moment. Use a light gray with your top stitching. It kind of blends into whatever color fabric you're using. So what I'm trying to do is create radiating lines that will come from our horizon. Hey, Patty. So we're just going to kind of work our way around using the previous line as a guide. always coming back to the point. Let me show you real quick kind of what it's looking like. Always coming back to the point at the horizon to begin our next row. Can everybody see okay? I think we can do one more on this side. Hey, Cecile, good to see you. All right, so we have that half done. So now let's do the other half. Hey, Patricia and Carol. All right, so I got to think about my angles. Let's see. Let me get this one turned. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be layering and a lot of things, the imperfections will get covered up. This won't take long, then we can build on the next layer. Have any of you ever tried this kind of applique before? Kind of a free motion quilting kind of process. And we just have maybe a couple of more rays to do, and that should take care of it. Maybe just one. Split it right down the middle. Okay, so here's what we've got for this guy so far. Okay, now let's put in our sun. And let me find my pieces. I think I've covered them up. So what I've got, I cut out a piece of yellow and then a piece of white. And we're going to overlay these. So we're going to start with the yellow. And I'm going to have this, you know what, I probably, just thinking about this, probably need to go ahead and put in our water first so that our sun will know exactly where to meet that up. So let me do that real quick. And I'm using just some really pretty blue. Let me kind of take this off. And we're going to turn down our raw edge and try to get it right up against, let me clip these threads real quick. Just some of these longer threads. Okay. going to pin this down. Hold on, you guys. I hope you can see okay, but I kind of have to have this right here for me so I can get these pins in. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing with going around that edge. And then let me get this side turned down. Get that a little more square. Try to get it even with my sky. I'm going to go ahead and pin right at that corner. Hi, Lana. You've never seen this before? The dinging sound was a message coming through on my laptop or my iPad. I'm not sure. Okay, let me get this one done. Now, we won't have to worry about raw edges so much because my intention is the main parts of this applique process, we're not going to worry about turning down raw edges. But along this outer, these main parts, I wanted to turn down the raw edges. Let me turn this a little so I can get to this side to pin because I'm right-handed. So I literally just took a free graphic. You could use a coloring book and use that as patterns. I remember when my grandmother used to quilt, she used to use coloring books. I know nowadays you have to be very careful about copyright and such. So a good rule of thumb would be to go online and look for free coloring book pages or royalty-free pages, because we do want to be mindful of artists that created their works and they may be trying to sell it. So always look for the royalty-free goods. So I hope everybody can see okay. This is kind of a new angle for me. I haven't done sewing live in a long time. And so getting all the things just right can be a little tricky. But I am determined to continue to work on all the angles and such. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I can get this batting under my presser foot, all the layers. I'm actually going to start in the center at my horizon. I'm going to take that pin out. There we go. Y'all, I apologize. Someone is texting me and you're hearing the ding from my iPad. I'm sorry. Taking special care at my corners. I'm just going to turn. again, we don't have to worry about perfection because there's going to be a lot of elements in here that are going to help to hide and mask any imperfections. Almost there. I'm so sorry, excuse me. Hey Sheila, thank you for being here. I know you do, Patty. It's just kind of, life's been a little crazy. Let me see, I kind of need to make a little adjustment right through here just to clean this up a little. So we're thinking of this kind of like creating art with fabric. Okay. All right, so here's what we have so far. Okay. Now let me clip this little bit of thread and we're going to put our sun in. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Doing okay, we got a few minutes left. All right, so now I'm going to place my sun. And I want it to be right at the edge of the horizon. So we're going to take this a little slow. Gently turning as we stitch. Again, this is not going to be perfect. Perfection is not the goal. I would love to be perfect, but I'm just not. Excuse me. And I am so not perfect, and I hope you find some grace for me in that. Man, I wish I was. Don't you? All right. So here's our sun. And now we're going to put some white in the center to give that glow for our sun. And the key is to go slow. Get that thread out of the way. Even going slow, I'm not perfect here, y'all. of you may be able to do this just spot on. I think me not feeling perfectly on top of my game tonight may have a little bit to do with it, but you know, practice makes perfect for sure. Okay, let's clip our thread. I'll show you kind of what we have. Okay, here's where we are with it. What do y'all think? I make it seem easy? Oh, good, Cecile. I'm so glad. Hey, Lisa. Yes. Okay, next. I have this fabric that I just think is so pretty. And it's definitely floral, but when I look at this, I also see clouds. And so what I want to do is I actually want to just cut some little whimsical cloud looking things. Let me show you. We're just not putting any rhyme or reason to it. We're just being hear 'em, scare 'em. Do y'all know that's a word? Okay. Whoops. Grabbed too much. Hold on. Are you, Patty? I'm so glad. Okay. So let's put a cloud up in here. I'm just going to put a couple of pins in it. So again, we're just kind of painting with fabric here, creating this scene. And really, you do not have to be perfect, even with these clouds, because in your stitching, because, you know, there's nothing spot on and perfect about a cloud. Let me turn this some more. Key is to go slow and just gently maneuver your fabric. I'm going to go ahead and turn it some more. Okay, let me cut this thread. All right, so there's our sky and a cloud. Hey, Angela. Okay, let's cut another cloud. We're just going to be whimsical about it. Lots of nice curves. Maybe a little bit smaller cloud. And let's put this one kind of a little lower. Let's see, let's do it this way. Be sure and watch my time. I've got about 5 minutes, and I hope I can get to the sailboat. We'll do that next. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so here's what we've got so far with our clouds and our sun. So let's work a little bit on this sailboat. Let me get my pieces. Thank you, Cheryl. Girl, I want to do you proud. So we're going to do our sails first. Here's my sails. I cut them out from that coloring book pattern. And let's see. We want to kind of have them a little bit. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Let's go over here. And have the tops kind of meet. This one's going to be more square on, so we're going to do it first. Hold on, let me get my other little sail out of the way. Turn this up again. All right. Clip this thread. All right. So now we're going to put in our other sail. Whoops, there's my scissors. We're going to have this kind of overlapping. How's my time? Y'all, I've got 1 minute. Oh my goodness. Come on. Got one little corner that is wanting to flip. So we're just going to kind of maneuver it out of the way there. Y'all, how many seconds do I have? Let me get this one sail done and I'll show you. And then all we have to do is put the body of the boat on, which I won't have time to do with you. And we're going to do some freehand quilting for the waves. Okay, I am out of time. So here's what we've got. Here's what we accomplished. Let me see if I can show you. We have our body of water, the sailboat, the sun, and the sky. So I will try to get it posted, the rest of it, so that you can see how it all turns out. But I can't wait for Lisa to see this, and I hope she's so pleased. But thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful week. Don't dread it. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Have a great evening, everybody. Good night.